I was pretty naughty. I grew up with two sisters and one brother. They were all older than me. I was the youngest. So as the youngest, we normally get in trouble. We lived most of my life in a city. Since I was born in Estonia, that's a small country in itself, but I lived in a second largest city. My father died when I was 7, and my mother died when I was 8. And then the family unit sort of fell apart because I was more or less taken over by my aunt, who was my father's sister. In Estonia was independent at that point in time. And then the Russians obtained a lease for a naval base. And that was in 1940 and 41 is when the war really happened there. And before you knew it, they just walked into the country. First they were being bombed by the Germans. Then when the Germans came in, the Russians kept bombing. During the war, it was, of course, to a child, can be very traumatic. We were bombed almost every night. So Mother used to get us all into the shelter at night. But even in the shelter, you're sitting there and the bombs are falling all around you. A child gets scared. As a matter of fact, this is like I told the pastor, this is when I was praying as a child. I was 7 years old, and I prayed and said, "Dear God, if you save me now, I will never forsake you." And it stayed with me from the time I was 7 years old. First encounter with religion was when my mother took me to church. As a matter of fact, I was Christianed in a Russian Orthodox church. I wasn't Christian in a Lutheran church. My mother was a Russian Orthodox. The time my faith was really tested, I think, was the time that my wife got sick and she was taken to the hospital. And they couldn't find anything. And she was going to be released that day. And I fed her lunch, and I'm sitting there, my son was there. My son walked out to make a phone call. And I turn around and I can't see my wife breathing anymore. I called the nurse who came in, and they brought the whole team in there trying to resuscitate her, and they did to a degree. She died about 4 days later. I mean, they couldn't get her kidneys to function. And that's a time I couldn't understand why God took her. Because to me, she was a much better Christian than I was. She lived a much better Christian life. Or she was the kind of person that never looked at anybody and trying to tell them, or trying to, in her mind, to look at people and say that, oh, I don't like that person, or, you know, she liked everybody. She would talk to everybody. She never thought the worst thing about the people, always the best. She's been dead now exactly for 3 years. I still have to continue. I still have 3 of my sons are there, and I have 10 grandchildren. They're all there. So I have a reason to live. The one thing that I would recommend for anyone, if they're really struggling, is read the Bible. Read the Bible and follow the weekly passages. If you attend church, it would even make it better for you. But if you're not attending church, start reading the Bible, because that's finally, maybe you will get some clarity in your thought.